2020 was a surprisingly fast year for music, as a lot of bands had free time to focus on recording and marketing and stuff like that. 2021 was no different, with a lot of bands still having a lot to work on and either getting stuff done faster or pushing stuff back to work on it more. Way to secure the testing kit, everyone. While it was a fast year for music, bugging me did feel like a slog sometimes waiting for stuff, but that's not to say that it was bad, as we do have indeed about 30 albums to go through. This is going to be a tough one to sit through, but hell, we made it through 2021, we're here in 2022, so let's start with the top 30 albums going from my number 30 to number 21. Three-parter, as usual. Here we go. Number 30. 2 Minute Miner, a goon's best friend till the very end. There was a lot of short but sweet punk this year, and so many albums could have been made honourable mentions. The likes of Incisions and Slant released brief but furious punk banger albums, but I'm giving this spot to 2 Minute Miner because I've wanted to put them on a list for so long. It's not just bias though, as this album properly rules and it shows the band at their best, full of fun energy, solid pacing, and some very great moments. It may be taking the wooden spoon, but it's definitely worth a stir. Number 29. Weekend Friends, Quitter. One of the last albums I reviewed of the year, I really didn't think I would like an album like this. As I've said before, it does things with indie punk rock that I typically don't like. But after a few listens, this one really won me over, so it's staying, damn it. In another year where female-led rock showed up, and don't worry, there will be a lot more to come on this list, the greatly named Weekend Friends present modernised indie energy, a fresh take on the genre, and just plenty of tongue-in-cheek charm that's difficult to not fall in love with. Number 28. Let Me Downs, Tacoma is for Lovers. And thus begins a trilogy of albums I like to call the American Midwest emo punk scene going into overdrive. There were a lot of similar albums that again could have been honourable mentions, but I say we start with the earnest and honest Let Me Downs. Much like Weekend Friends, they just have an endearing quality which shows in the hard work they're playing, and the lyrics are great too. And also, considering that this was a debut, it's a great listen and I'm really looking forward to whatever they drop next. Number 27. Nominee, Lowlife. I did say it was a trilogy, and this album is basically The Empire Strikes Back, and much like Let Me Down's album did, this one sneaks up on me, and instead of holding me at gunpoint and begging me to like it, it stayed for a nice cup of tea while it talked about its issues. Again, really good band name, it's just a really good album. It's brilliantly paced out, half hour of heartfelt punk riffs, some of the darkest lyrics I've heard penned for the genre, and the choruses and melodies are just top-notch work all around. Number 26. Sincere Engineer, Bless My Psyche. And to close out the trilogy, this one didn't sneak up on me, as I was actually looking forward to this one all year. Yes, it is in this range of the top 30, but as I've said before, placement doesn't really matter with these lists, as I can rarely be negative about what I love, and this is an album that fits that perfectly. Danny Bayless's brainchild's second album is chock full of really slick musical direction and some damn fun tracks to pop to, and it's just nice to see that a lot of others like this as much as I did, because this album has earned all of that if you ask me. Number 25. United Defiance, Change the Frequency. If they were ever a truer case of a long time of hard work paying off, I ain't heard of it. United Defiance have been rocking around for well over a decade and a half, and while I could have put this in the trilogy that came just before, this one is different to those. It harkens back to a more upbeat, classic style of punk rock sound with some very nice riffs and solos, self-examining lyrics, and some damn great chant choruses as well. Glad these guys have a consistent output now, because this one has made me very eager for whatever they drop next. I just hope that they don't take as long. Number 24. Catbite. Nice one. And now let's go to a style that just always makes me happy in some ska punk, female-led no less, and yes, there were also a lot of similar and great acts, but this one just stuck with me the most throughout the year. Philly, Pennsylvania 4-piece's second outing isn't the longest thing going, but damn it takes so many swerves with the sound that it keeps it interesting. As if they couldn't do that already with their natural ability and knack for catchy verse structures, which absolutely fucking could, and did. I know I made the joke before, but hell, it is a nice one indeed. Number 23. Authority Zero, Ollie Ollie Oxenfree. These guys won't be the first long-term punk band in the whole of the top 30, but they're one of the more unique acts with their genre mixing. This is their 8th album, and damn it, I wish I knew about them sooner. It blows my mind how they juggle so much but it all works, and I can only imagine that it's thanks to tight instrumentation, amazing self-production, and some really uplifting lyrics, but that's just me spitballing. You would have to listen to the albums yourself to find out, like you needed me to tell you that. 22. Calling All Captains, Slowly Getting Better. One of the main stigmas of pop punk is how the lead vocalist often sounds too pretty and whiny. Calling All Captains' lead singer does not sound like that, making for the heaviest pop punk releases of 2021, and yeah, there are plenty of them that also didn't make this list, sadly. Obviously, the album is great for its breakdowns, its bleak but not too depressing tone, and some damn great production to boot, proving again that Canada is really good at this shit. A debut it's worth looking forward to, and it's totally worth spinning for yourselves. Finally, number 21, Frontiera with Oxidized. Taking a break from pop punk or punk adjacent stuff, a Scottish band with American people in it, Frontiera. This is apparently their 3rd album, for goodness sake, and well, it's great to be frank with you. And Frank isn't even my name. My name's Jake. Still, yeah, this is a solid argument for a band being made by the 3rd album. I can only hope that they've always sounded this good and that they've always had some really solid political topics to talk about, mind-wrecking production and instrumentation work, and you can practically taste the blood, sweat and tears that was shed, so this album is absolutely a great case of paying off well, and again, looking forward to whatever they do next. For 30 to 21, hopefully my editing program thing that I use is a bit more agreeable with me as I'm trying to put this one together. As for what's next from me, well, hopefully the start of the Resident Evil Let's Play tonight. It all depends on what happens, and yeah, I'll basically see you all for that, and then tomorrow, number 20 to 11, of this top 30. So yeah, that'll about do it. As always, thank you for watching. You're awesome. Bye bye.